Bit friendly.
Please welcome Shonette Bason.
Thank you. If you're wondering, like, I'm not normal, like, in the sense of, like, I'm a bit too happy. Do you know what I mean? So when you're a bit too happy, people think you're a bit weird, don't they? Because they're like, is she taking drugs? That's what people think. So I don't know about you, but most people in society aren't as happy as me. Like, would you agree? And some people in this room might have come to this event tonight and not feel so happy. I'm one of them, because my accountant just audited our accounts and found an £8,000 VAT deficit. And then you're supposed to just find £8,000, and I was like, where's that? I'm going to find it in my knickers. Do you know what I mean? Like, she didn't really laugh, but that's the difference between creators, isn't it? And Steely. Who's Steely here? Because that you might be finding this a bit tricky. So for me, all of my life, I've been like this overly happy person, and you know, bad things have happened to me. Like, I've had my own children. I don't know about anybody else. If you've happened to accidentally have some children, that can be a missold dream, can't it? I've accidentally had 4, which is quite a lot of accidents, really, and that's because I was told when I was younger that breastfeeding was a form of contraception. So I'm just giving you my educational level, because it took me quite a while to realise that breastfeeding is not a form of contraception. And I just say that out as a warning to everyone, just in case you're thinking of doing that. And if anybody hasn't got children, just be proud of yourself, because I'm having to downsize my house just to pay for them to go through university. The other thing as well is I've accidentally had 2 husbands as well. So even though I'm happy, bad things happen, like, you know, but it's how you recover. And it wasn't until I met Roger Hamilton that I even realised I was like an entrepreneur, or that I even had a business to even take to a different level, because I started off life as a primary school teacher, and that was a bit of an accident as well, because who here had a dream as a child? Did anybody have a dream as a child and you're not really being it? Usually accountants say that. So the thing is, for me, I wanted to be an air hostess, because now you're thinking, what did you want to be? Do you know what I mean? We've got like somebody doing a doctorate in maths, so I was like, oh, I wanted to be an air hostess. But the problem was, back in the day when I wanted to be an air hostess, you actually had to be attractive. Do you know what I mean? Because there wasn't like Ryanair or EasyJet, you know what I mean? So you actually had to be attractive, and I wasn't. I know you can't believe that now, but you know, there's Botox and things like that. So the thing was, we are lying to children on a daily basis by telling them you can be anything you want to be, because you can be while you're 4 and 5 and when you're 6 and 7, but when you get to the age of 10, that's when scientifically you lose your ability to generate unconditional happiness. So what happens then is you go to secondary school, you might not get the grades, like we were laughing before, because I've got 4 GCSEs in maths. D, 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 C! Who are you thinking? She's come here to talk about business. Are you joking? And this is the thing, is that when I stepped into the room with Roger Hamilton for the first time, all of a sudden I was like, wow, like, where are we? Because secretly I'd just come to London for a day out. And I got a ticket by accident. Somebody had sent me, like, come to this. And my mum works with me a lot and helps me a lot. So I was like, Mama, can I go and see this man talk about the future? And she was like, yeah. And I said, it's in London, you have to sleep over. Now, if you don't know where I'm like from the northeast of England, okay? And if you watch Game of Thrones, I'm like beyond the wall. That's where I live, like in the north. It's very cold, full of wildlings, okay? So came to London, and when I was in the room with him, something just connected in me. And the bit that connected in me was the heart-centeredness of Genius U and of Roger Hamilton. The fact that you could be an entrepreneur, but you didn't have to be, can I say your word, what you said, wealth wolf? I like that. That's in Peter's book, everyone. Peter's got a book coming out. Not that one, another one. Everyone clap him, it's exciting. Like even just getting to, people say write a book. Why do people say that? I always think people say that who've never written a book. Because I'm writing one at the moment and it took me 18 months and I've had 4 deadlines off the publisher. And she's like, do you think this book is ever going to come? And I'm like, yeah. But does anybody else do that procrastinating thing? My house is immaculate at the moment due to the fact I'm writing this book. If you need a clean house, start writing a book. That's what I think. So when I stepped into the room, I started to think about not the word purpose so much, but what was my heart centre? Now we've got the global goals, but when I went to him, we didn't have global goals. So it was kind of like, what was my heart centre? Now, as a teacher, I know there's problems in education. I don't know if you've noticed that it's a bit old school, that they still teach children the same as when we were taught, okay? So the school system that children are in, and there's this horrible quote that was invented about 15 years ago that says, we don't know the jobs children will be doing in the future. And I was just saying to people before, we didn't have doggy groomers like 5 years ago. Do you have doggy groomers? When I went to Cyprus recently, I was telling my friend and he was like, you have doggy groomers? Like in Cyprus, that's so weird. Now, but they'll have doggy groomers soon, won't they? You know, like my dog tonight is sleeping in a 5-star dog hotel this evening. It's got underfloor heating, it's got Sky Telly in his room, and he has like a little kennel and somebody checks on him. Now when I was younger, my dogs just stayed at home. I don't know about your dogs, they didn't go to a hotel. So these jobs that we think are futuristic could be as simplistically as being an entrepreneur dog groomer or opening a dog hotel. But education is still churning. Who here ever had a teacher say something to them that was negative that impacted on you? Like I went to America recently and I was talking to this lady and she said, I loved my teacher when I was like 10, but then at the end of the year she did like a set of an awards and she gave me the foot in mouth award. Which I didn't really understand what that meant. And she was like, I said, did you talk a lot or what? And she was like, I don't even know to this day what it meant. She said, but I just knew it wasn't nice because everybody got like champion writer and mathematician and she got foot in mouth, which we had Anthony here last time. I think that's actually an animal disease, isn't it? Foot in mouth, I think. So this is the power of a teacher has. So one of the things is that when I came to Roger, that I'd already invented all these different things in education. One of them called Door Disco, which I will let you go away this evening on YouTube and Google me doing that because I don't want to get you excited this early on an evening. But it is me dancing my fingers in Play-Doh basically. And when I do my sausage, I get a lot of friends on Facebook, usually American widows, to be fair. So when I started inventing these things, I saw a difference in children coming into my classroom. This was like 10 years ago. I saw children coming into my classroom and there was 3 major differences in children. One was they couldn't talk properly anymore at 3 years old. They couldn't go to the toilet themselves, they weren't toilet trained, and parenting was very different. So I wrote this list. Now you're thinking to yourself, we're not 6, okay, but have a look at the list. Do we need some more? I've got spares if you need another one. I don't want to like drag you off with me. Are you all right? Has everybody got one? I'm watching that Wi-Fi wire. Can you see it even in the dark? It's a little bit little in there. Take it home, read it later. Now, do you need some more behind you? Are you all right? Are you all right? Now, even people here, like, I'd be interested to know, like, in it, just picking on you. You wish you never talked to me now, don't you? Even in Italy, who here has done some of the things off the list, okay? I'm in the light, we're in the light down here, so we can read it. Like, who here has made petal perfume as a child? Yeah, where you get petals and you crunch it. What about in Italy? No. Yeah, you didn't do it. What about bash ice with a stick? Bash ice with a stick. Like frozen water. Yeah, you did that. Just checking. We've got a language thing going on. Do you know what I mean? I just like him speaking with that accent. Now, here's one for you. Do you do the hokey cokey in Italy? Do you? Well, I'm going to teach you. So that we can just travel this to Italy, I feel, that the hokey cokey. Who here knows the hokey cokey? Yeah? Stuart, get your hand up. Stuart. Matthew, how are you feeling about the hokey? Yeah, you can, you will when I do it. You know this, you put your left arm in, your left arm out, in, out, you shake it all about. You do the hokey. Madam's just looking like, woo! This is the hokey cokey. Yeah. Now, the thing is, this is now used in all of those different countries, and we've rewritten it for Dubai and the Middle East because obviously some of the things they can't do. So if you know people over there, they'll be doing ones on the Dubai one. It's got things like stroke a camel. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit different to the UK one. But basically, this childhood is non-technological. This is the difference in the children in school now to the children 10 years ago. If you think about children now, in the UK alone, 86% of 3-year-olds in the UK have a device of some sort. So what is happening to the children is they are not doing all of these physical things. And if anybody knows neuroscience, you'll know that the way the brain learns the body is through movement. And the child needs to maximize their movement between the age of 0 and 6. So all of the programs that I did in education and still do, we have a big movement of Spread the Happiness, is we use movement to accelerate learning in the individual child. But this list is good for you because one of the things as adults you've perhaps forgotten to do is generate unconditional happiness because you lost it at the age of 10. Some people in the room may have even become a lemon sucker, okay? A lemon sucker is just a generally miserable person. Does anybody know somebody? If they sat next to you, just go like that. Just identify them to me. The thing is, we all know lemon suckers, don't we? And the thing is, as an entrepreneur, when you start to build a team, if you have a lemon sucker in your team, it can take your whole team down. Who here has ever worked with a lemon sucker who's taken you down? And when I went to America recently, I came back and I said on Twitter, I am not going to apologize anymore for being happy because in the workplace, I'm always apologizing to lemon suckers because they're always like, could you stop being enthusiastic? Because negativity has such a big power, doesn't it? So we have a hashtag called No Lemon Suckers Here. And we're going to do an assessment now to see if there's no lemon suckers here by all of us doing the hokey cokey. But those people who remember the hokey cokey, you would clear the furniture and you would do the big circle because the happiness isn't in the left arm out, ooh, shake it all about. It's in the where you get in a circle and then you go, whoa! That just burst that, sorry. Whoa! And you have the potential of going nipple to nipple this evening with another human. This is how exciting this is, okay? But because of hashtag #MeToo, maybe just be gentle, okay? Because we don't want anybody on there later. So, what I want you to do, now if you're at work as an entrepreneur, very often you're working on your own, aren't you, at home? So you could do this happiness technique with a mirror, okay? So just get your mirror and you go, whoa, the hokey cokey. Now, you don't believe me at this point because we haven't done it, but when we do it, you're going to be like, whoa, feel off my head just from doing a hokey cokey. You big FaceTime in Italy tonight, like, get ready. We're going to hokey cokey. Right, so identify who you want to hokey cokey with. Do you know what I'm saying? You do it in a two normally. Okay, but if you just want to do it alone and be a lemon sucker, you can. You can do it in a three. Stand up, come on, let's do it. Feels awkward. Don't worry, Matthew, it feels awkward. But then, I like that. Yeah, do it as a three. Do it as a three. Watch this wire. I'm just conscious, health and safety. Okay, you ready? You put your left arm in, your left arm out, in, out, you shake it all about. You do the hokey cokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. Pull back. Whoa, the hokey cokey. Whoa, the hokey cokey. Whoa, the hokey cokey. Knees bend, arms stretch, rah, rah, rah. You put your whole self in, your whole self out. In, out, you shake it all about. You do the hokey cokey and you turn around. That's what it's... Right, come on, give it some. Whoa, the hokey cokey. Whoa. Whoa, the hokey cokey, knees bent, rah, 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 well done everybody! So, who feels a bit happier? You just looking shocked. And one of the things that I realised when I was on this journey that I'm currently on of being an entrepreneur is that the techniques that we use in early education actually increase happiness in adults. So now Spread the Happiness is a revolution that works first of all on the adult and in education, and then they work on the children in their classroom. They then go out into their community and work on their community in whole school. A one-form entry primary school can impact on over 2,000 people in a community. So you can imagine the stories that are occurring, because one of the things about changing a system like education is it doesn't, we're all waiting in education for somebody up here to change, and that's never going to happen. So I decided, sat in one of Roger's events like you, I thought instead of actually trying to change the people up here, we are the people on the floor, we are the people in the classroom. Let's empower all of the teachers, worldwide as well, and let's do that and start a revolution. And I read a quote, and I can't remember who said it, but it said it takes 15 years to have an actual revolution, but in that time a generation flourish. And that's my heart-centered entrepreneurship, is that we are flourishing the next education system and empowering teachers to be their best selves within the classroom and not get bogged down like lemon suckers. But there's another bit. So in the journey then, a doctor of happiness found me because he was doing a study in the UK of happy people, and they sent it, and I went to him, and I was like, I'm really happy, like too happy, like all these things have happened to me and I'm still happy. And he was like, nobody's too happy. Then after a week he was like, you're too happy, please go away from me. Like it's just enough, okay? Because it's really irritating to other people. And together we wrote this book, Happiness, The Route Map to Inner Joy. But also we started last year a happiness festival, the UK's first happiness festival. And we had it in Manchester and 1,000 people came. And this year we had it in Birmingham on probably the hottest day of the year. So everybody was happy and sweaty as well. And we've started this like happiness revolution that has actually created another side to it, which I'll tell you about in a minute, because I want to give you another tip, right, for everybody, because who here likes to have a little bit of a moan? Do you know what I'm saying? Who just gets, people get on your nerves? Anybody else? Do you know what I mean? People whinging in the UK about it being hot, for a start. Like, what is your problem? Do you know what I mean? It's always freezing and suddenly it's hot, and it's like Italy and people are like, oh, it's too hot, isn't it? It's too hot. And then it rains and everybody goes, oh, can you believe it's raining? Like, if you're from another country, don't you think people in the UK moan a lot? Oh, nothing. Do you moan in Italy?
I mean, there are like amount of money.
Yeah. But what other countries have we got here? Who represents it? Is there mourning going on around the world? I think there is, because you'll like this. So we've invented this therapy because the problem is, if I came to you and started mourning, you would start moaning back to me, wouldn't you? Like, say I'd been ill, I'd be like, oh, I'm so tired. Anybody else tired? Like, I'm so tired, I'm working so hard, nothing's happening, I'm so tired, I can't get the customers. You know, then you're going to go, oh yeah, I know what you mean, and I'm working so hard. I go to all these things and still nothing happens. My eyes are falling out because I'm so tired. Like, you know, we could have a moan off, couldn't we? But now we're going to become magic wand therapists. This is your magic wand for life. Do you know? I'm not doing it like that, but in a nice way. Okay. So take a magic wand, pass it on. Okay. I'm going to pass you some there. I can't come too far because you got me on a lead. You will have to be my handy helper. Thank you, Peter. So we've invented this because, especially in workplaces and especially when you have a team of people, you'll find that mourning can happen in the workplace, you know, usually around the photocopier or in school. I don't know about you, but in school it's always in the cupboard. Like, you look at your friend and you go in the cupboard and you shut the door. Like, I think there's two sides to professionalism. There's professional out of the cupboard and unprofessional in the cupboard, right? When you're an entrepreneur, you're just going to have to use the mirror again if you're alone in your own house. But you get a magic wand partner, okay? So it's the person next to you, okay, today. And next time you want to have a moan, you say to them, can you get your magic wand out? But only say that to people who are trained, okay? I just don't, I'm from beyond the wall, and I know if you said that in the north, things could happen to you that might be quite shocking. I don't know if it would in London. But so when the person gets their magic wand out, they put it on their lips like this because they're not going to join in, okay? Everybody put it on their lips so I know that you've followed instruction. Well done. And they would then give you 3 minutes to get something off your chest, okay? So let me just get something off my chest, right, to give you an example. Television adverts. I don't know if television is just going a bit too far for me. I don't know about you. I know Tenor Lady actually got challenged on this yesterday. But there's a young girl who's just had a baby on the advert. I don't know if you've seen her. She's got a baby and she's got these like pants on, and they're like incontinence pants. Gentlemen, I'm sorry, but it means she wears her knickers, okay? So she's wearing these incontinence pants and she's going around like all sexy like this, right, with a baby. And she says, a little bit of wee doesn't bother me. Yeah! Don't forget, I'm getting this off my chest, right? Because I'm sat there, right, and I'm thinking a little bit of wee does bother me, lady. Do you know what I mean? You've only had one baby. I've had 4. Imagine the fountain that's coming out of me. I'd have to change those knickers all the time. And gentlemen, tell me, would you rather a lady was wearing Victoria's Secret or incontinence knickers? Just asking for a friend. So then, right, if that advert isn't bad enough, okay, then I'm sat on the sofa with my 18-year-old son. That's the other thing that I forgot to tell you. My children are 22, 21, 20, 19. No multiple pregnancies there, just a lot of accidents, okay? They know it's all right. They've had therapy. So we sat there, we're having a mummy-son moment, and on the telly comes a woman with red glasses. Has anybody seen this? She's a comedian called Jenny Eclair. She's sat on her sofa, she's doing an advert, and my son and I thought it's going to be life insurance, right? How wrong was I, ladies and gentlemen, because she was talking about her driver, who is horrified, because she should be, because my 18-year-old son had never even thought of Driver Jojo's. I'd never thought about Driver Jojo's. He's looking at me now thinking about my Driver Jojo. I'm thinking about my Driver Jojo. I don't even want to think about the moisture level of Driver Jojo or anybody else's, or the woman in red glasses. Can you see how this has got to me? And then the Viagra advert, where the old man gets out the bed. Have you seen him? And he's like, do, 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 do. And again, I'm thinking cruises, you know, something like that. No! So if anybody was listening, they'd know that I'd gone too far now, and they would do this, okay? Which means get over it, because there's nothing I can do apart from right to advertising standards, okay? And they've obviously loosened them. And this means get over it. So everybody do this, get over it, because there's nothing you can do about it. Most of the things we moan about, there's nothing we can do about, so we just go get over it. And then, if I talk about it again during the evening, you must go like this, which means move on, okay? And the final one I will tell you, have a little go with the person next to you. Obviously, don't think about their moisture content, but have a little go now of them moaning to you and then getting over it. Let them get something off their chest, okay? Will you do, Matthew? Come with Matthew, have a partnership. He just looks like he doesn't know what to say. He's okey-cokeyed. Do you just give him a quickie? Do you just get a quickie, get over it? Yeah, I know, yeah. That's so you need to decide, is he talking and you're listening?
Oh, I've got it. So I'm doing that.
You're getting it out. Drop me thing.
I do know.
So, this is the new technique, okay, because I think out in the world we very often meet people that may need this, okay, so do carry a wand with you at all time. I carry it on the train, I carry it like on aeroplanes, I give it to air hostesses at the back so that we get our tea quicker, because like they stood at the back whinging and I need a cup of tea, do you know what I mean? And I did do it on the train the other week when the whole carriage it was too hot in the carriage, and the train guard was like giving everybody free water and like being as nice as he possibly could, and people were being so horrible to him, so I had loads of wands. So I stood up and I gave them out and I said, right everybody, this is magic wand therapy, okay, get it off your chest to the person next to you and then get over it, right? I had to have a police escort off the train at the next station. But this is the thing, isn't it, okay, and this one, okay, where you put it shoulder to shoulder over your head is like, get over yourself. Because how many times do you just need to get over yourself? And I think sometimes the biggest lemon sucker as well can be in your own head, can't it? So before I give you my last tip and we talk, and then you can ask me questions, who's scared? About obviously becoming a successful businesswoman on top of being mental, is one of the big heart things, a bit like B1G1, is my company Spread the Happiness. Then we decided that when we were writing that book, that one of the ways on the internet to be happy is to be kind. Who here agrees? Now, I was giggling to myself because I have got a comedy brain, so bear with me, right? But I walked past a homeless man today in King's Cross, and he was like, hiya. And I was like, hiya. And he had like a pile of food trays like people had bought him, which I thought was really lush actually. And I said, you're going to have a little feast there, aren't you? He said, I know, but I need a cigarette. And it just made me laugh because I thought, you know, you've actually got all that food, now you want a cigarette. Do you know what I'm saying? But this is the thing. So we wrote this chapter about kindness. Now, I want you to be so aware of kindness because I think it's a bit like a fake thing. So when we wrote the chapter, I was like, oh, I'll do all the kindness acts because I'm like a really kind person. You know, me and Mother Teresa could have been related, really. Do you know what I mean? I'm that kind. Because I'm like you. I always say please and thank you. Do you? Yeah? Even in that London. Like, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. I was shouting to the cyclists who stopped and didn't run me over at the zebra crossing. And I hold doors for other people, do you? And then when they go through and they don't say thank you, I shout, rude! You know what I mean? And I let people out in the traffic, do you? And then if they don't thank me, I follow them to their house, wound down the window, and I shout, I know where you live, all right? So I thought I was like a really kind person until I went out doing kindness acts. And the first one I did was to do with dogs. And I don't even really like dogs. I just happen to have one. I made loads of balls in a basket. I seen it on the internet and I took it to a local park. And my son, one of my sons is a lemon sucker. I've actually given birth to a lemon sucker. And he said, Mum, why are you doing that? You know, vandals are going to come and they're going to smash the basket, then they're going to eat the balls and choke and sue you. And I was like, do you know what, you're going to come to the park with me to see what happens. So we took the basket to the park, and as I started walking around, my lemon sucker started going, he's right, you know, you're stupid, like what have you done that for? Nobody's even going to take a ball. And then as I come round the corner, there was this very well-dressed gentleman with lurchers and a big ball thrower that I'd put in the basket, and he was like, have you seen what somebody's done? And I was like, and he was like, isn't this amazing that somebody has left this basket? But in this kindness act, you aren't allowed to tell the person it was you, and I find that really hard. Do you know what I mean? I want the glory at that time. So I was walking back, I was like, my halo was like pinging. I got back in the car for, let's level this kindness, never mind dogs, let's go like top level kindness. So I googled like top level kindness. feed the homeless, right? So I goes home and makes a bag, right? Has anybody else got a miserable friend that you went to school with who's just become more and more miserable? Maybe even become happiness terrorists, do you know what I mean? And so my friend, she is a happiness terrorist, I said, come on, I'll take you out, we'll go and do a kindness act so you can feel better about yourself. That's how kind I am. Right, I'm going to share my experiences with you. So she gets in the car, she says, what are we doing? I said, we're going looking for homeless people. She was like, where are we going to find them? I said, in doorways. So what we didn't realise was in the northeast we have the lowest homeless rate for different reasons. Probably because it's so cold, probably because we're so friendly, people just take people in, do you know what I mean? Lonely people get in, do you know what I mean? I've done that myself, just saying. So we're driving round. Now if you ever go out looking for homeless people in a car, you have to drive really slowly along the curb, like to look in doorways, right? And she even said, like, what time do you think they come out, right? This is what she said. That's how unkind we were as people. And then the police came, because in the UK, driving along the curb really slowly is called curb crawling. And so we nearly got arrested for doing acts of kindness. Now, you don't see this on YouTube, do you? No. So we went to the homeless shelter. The policeman was like, please stop doing acts of kindness because something's going to happen to you, you know. And so we went to this homeless shelter. And when I walked in this homeless shelter, that is when my kind of whole perspective on kindness changed, because there's 48 beds in the shelter and 102 people waiting for beds. So I had one bag. Right, what were we going to do? Have a raffle? Do you know what I mean? So I was kind of like, it just changed completely, and we got hot chocolate and we did all these kind of things. But then I came to London and I worked with the Sikh Welfare Awareness Team. I don't know if you know them, they're called SWAT. They go on the Strand every Tuesday and Thursday and Sunday, and you can go along, you can serve on the Gurdwara, and it's just amazing. And they said to me, go back north and think about what we're doing. So we started a charity, and it doesn't feed the homeless, it feeds families in poverty in the UK in the summer holidays. It's called Holiday Hunger now. And for 2 years we've done this, and DHL a year ago came on board with us, and now it's a national project. And last week we just went to a big meeting with DHL, you know DHL, the big yellow vans. We just went to a meeting with them. They have 40,000 employees helping us nationwide. So this is the power of heart-centred entrepreneurism. You can actually solve problems that other people are just talking about. So I want to thank you by giving you a little random act of kindness to do later, okay? I'm going to give everybody one of these little cards, and it says, thank you, you made me happy today, okay? I hope I've made you a little bit happier, okay? But what I want you to do in the next 24 hours, because I'm a teacher, I like homework, is I want you to find someone to give this card to, okay? And I want you to write, thank you. I want you to write on it like a little message, like I went to this pizza shop near King's Cross that I'd found on Google, and it was like proper oven baked Italian pizza, and it was so lovely. And so I just wrote a little note saying I googled your shop and it said it was 5-star, and it actually is. Your pizza's delicious and you all look delicious. I don't hand it to the person, I just leave it under my plate so that people can find it after. So it's just a nice way to spread the happiness. If you're single, you could put your number on, thank you, give it to a person. We could have spread the happiness weddings going on, do you know what I'm saying? Could be exciting. And the last tip, okay, because I think one of the hardest parts of being an entrepreneur, it's not just your happiness, it's also when you just constantly have to keep motivated. And I don't know about you, but Grant Corden with his hustle, 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 just makes me need a wee, really, quite frankly. So I'm not really into all that. But on a morning when you wake up, you've got to motivate yourself, haven't you, to make things happen. And I think, like, I've been doing this now with Roger for like about 6 years, and sometimes I just don't feel like it. Does anybody else? So what you have to do is you just have to stop being nice, okay? You have to get a bit harder and a bit tougher. You have to start thinking like a champion boxer. Now you're all thinking Muhammad Ali. I'm thinking Rocky. Does everybody know who Rocky is? He's got a few films. He's got Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, 6, and then he's got Creed 1, Creed 2. I haven't got that far in the box set, right? But when he wakes up on a morning, he's the underdog who here often looks at other successful people and thinks, I'm the underdog. They've got there, they did this, they did that. I used to feel like that, and I still do sometimes when I look at people, I think, how did they get to there? But actually, it's about you. It's about you getting up every morning like Rocky, putting your black plastic bag on, getting out into the streets, sweating, right? All he had was Julian, remember? Right? And every Monday, we get to the bottom of the Philadelphia steps, you know, all them steps in Philadelphia like Rocky. Right, Rocky doesn't go, oh, do you know what, I think I'll start on Tuesday. Like, oh, it's my steel day, that means I need to just lay down, I'll wait till my water day. I don't even, I've followed Roger for years and everybody always says to him about his water steel days and I just think, I don't understand. But when you get to the bottom of the steps, right, you've got to get up on a Monday. You've got to have some achievements in your week so you think like Rocky. What does Rocky do, everyone? He puts on a song. He puts on Eye of the Tiger. Eye of the Tiger. And he's up them steps like a whippet. He gets to the top. Right? This is what I want you to do. I want you to download yourself a personal anthem just for you, okay? It can even be a bit sweary if you want. This is mine. It's not sweary, but it's quite sexist. Because it's Eve. So imagine me. I'm pretending I'm driving to my office, but really I just have to get out of bed. I'm going downstairs. I open the door to the postman. Hello. What have you got for me today? Back into the team meeting. I'm like, ooh. My team are like, oh. Then I get onto my pony and I ride it round the garden. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you feel a bit happier. So now it's time for you to ask me questions. Like, what drugs am I on? So my journey, if you want to know, when I first started with Roger, does everybody know the Lighthouse Wealth system that he has? So I was infrared, which means that you're in debt. So when I went to him in London, I was like infrared, had debts, I was running my business, I was doing a turnover, but it was just all going out again. So in the Lighthouse system, very quickly when I went to have the first initial meeting with him, and he was like, you just need me, Shonette. And I was like, yeah, I do actually. Now he doesn't come near me, he just Skypes in. But within a year, doing exactly what he said, I doubled the turnover of my business and went very quickly into credit and be able to learn. I built a team, I built cash flow. Cash flow, I think, is one of the biggest, hardest things as an entrepreneur to be able, you can make the money, but then there's all the things going out. I think one of the things that I feared at that time was building a team would just suck more money out than it actually generated. And to this day now, we're still building, we're still growing. And one of the things that I probably didn't know then, that it takes time. It isn't that hustle instant. It actually takes time. But we have a community, like Lucas said, that's like 36, 38 countries around the world, and we have over 3,000 people in our online community. And if you came to see Anthony Chadwick, the online vet, I copied his idea and did it for teachers. So we have like a school of Spread the Happiness. I started that last year using his model, and that alone turned over £35,000 in its first year, and it wasn't expected to make any money. So within this community you can share, and if Anthony was here he would say, I said to him, I'm just copying you, and he was like, just copy me, it's all right, I'm from Liverpool, because they steal things, just saying.